Hello, welcome to the City Show. We're out and about today. It's not raining. I'm grateful for that. Today we'll stop by the Humane Association Animal Shelter to see how they're doing, how they can continue to operate during the coronavirus pandemic. But right now we're going to be checking in with Scott Brunka, the city manager. Got a lot of stuff going on in Lebanon. Looking at many changes that are coming to this neighborhood over the next year or 2 years. Before we dive into that, let's talk about the city's response to the coronavirus lockdown, where we are now at as summer's coming around.
Right. Yeah, I know, when this first started hitting in March, we made, several adjustments. I think our first and primary, role is to make sure that all of our essential services remained unaffected. Obviously we're involved with public safety, things of that nature. So, from a staffing standpoint, we shifted folks into different crews, different shifts, just tried to limit interaction to make sure that, if we did have a situation where a staff member, were to be infected, that it wasn't going to affect our entire departmental operations, whether that's police, fire, electric, water, sewer, vital utilities. So we made those adjustments early on. Fortunately, we never had any issues within our staff and within our departments with
no
the
layoffs at
all. No, but
wow.
We maintain our staffing levels. There were some positions that were open that we have not filled at this point. So we've kind of taken a step back and looked at if there's any open positions. We put any hiring on hold for those. We have made some budget adjustments on some equipment purchases and some contractual service type things where we've scaled back just to make sure from an economic ramification that we're able to get through this fine. But we feel like we're in a good position right now. Lebanon, a lot of the small businesses have been heavily impacted by the shutdown, and it's great to see them start opening back up now. A lot of our manufacturing industrial businesses really kind of maintained throughout this cycle. A lot of them were considered essential just based on the supply chain and what they manufactured. So I think myself and the city auditor, we feel good about where the city's at financially. We've made some budget cuts and we've made some budget restrictions just to be prepared because we know we are going to see some of that, but we feel pretty good about how we're going to be able to get through it.
Okay. Now, did you receive any advance notice from the governor, or was this as much of a surprise to you as everyone else?
The city's approach to this whole thing is just basically waiting to see what direction comes from the state and then, kind of proceed accordingly. So, our role has primarily been, trying to help support the health department, with what they're trying to do, kind of reacting to the mandates that get put upon us from the state. But yeah, it's definitely been a fluid situation that we've had to react to very quickly.
Now, what about the changes for city operations with the pandemic? And
so we're back. We opened the city building up. Let's see. I'm trying to get. It's been open for 3 weeks now. So good. We opened. We kind of opened the city building back up to the public early on. As soon as we were allowed to, we did. We're back to kind of normal shifts, normal operations right now. So from a service delivery standpoint, we're kind of back to normal operations. And I know, the city, one of our primary responses has been, and city council's kind of taken the lead in what can we do to help small businesses? Because we recognize that they've been impacted greatly. So city council authorized a small business relief program, a forgivable loan program. We were able to give about $45,000 in forgivable loans to small businesses to help get them through the shutdown period. We are now kind of closing Mulberry Street every weekend to try to support outdoor dining. So as these restaurants kind of open back up, making sure they have space where folks can come down, get something to eat, enjoy the atmosphere of downtown Lebanon. Well,
that's awesome. I noticed you did something pretty brave. You kept the parks open. Well, a lot of other communities did. I applaud that because let's face it, exercise is going to keep you healthy. It's going to keep your immune system going. So letting people exercise. But what caused you to make that decision? Because there must have been a lot of heat on you.
Yeah, I mean, it was a discussion, but honestly, I think kind of what you pointed out, we felt like, especially in times like these where there were so many limited, the options for entertainment and getting out were so limited with all the business shut down. We felt like it was essential to keep our parks open so folks could kind of get out, get some fresh air, use our trails, go walk the dog, go for a run. And I'll tell you what, it has been amazing to see how heavily used our parks have been throughout this. Now, there were some things that we had to shut down. Our playground, are still closed per state mandates, but we really, from the beginning, said we're not going to close our parks. We're going to have this open to the public and promote the use of the parks, promote exercise, and the community responded accordingly.
So do they have a timeline on the playground stuff?
We hope
for the
soon.
kids?
We hope soon. We just got the basketball nets back up, 2 days ago. So our hope is that we're able to kind of open up playgrounds. That's really the last thing, or the only thing at this point that we have closed down, is the playgrounds. The ball fields now are open back up for use by some of these teams in the sports leagues. So it's really just getting the playgrounds opened up, and then we're back. But you're right, we definitely wanted to keep our parks open and felt strongly about it. And we did get some pushback from some folks, but I think from our standpoint, it's a personal choice. If you want to go out and use a park for your own good, mental health, physical health, that's great. If you don't feel comfortable doing that, then you certainly don't need to. That's
good. You mentioned the small businesses and what you've done for them. There's an association called DORA, D-O-R-A. What is that, and how are they helping?
Right, so DORA is really a collaborative effort between the city, Main Street Lebanon, and the Chamber of Commerce. And what DORA is, it's the downtown outdoor refreshment area.
Nice.
So it's a district that has been established by the city, and what that allows folks to do is come downtown. It's isolated to downtown, obviously. Come downtown, they can buy a beer or an alcoholic beverage at Bellagio's, Docks, or one of our restaurants downtown, and they can get a special cup, a Dora cup, pour that beer in the Dora cup inside of the facility, inside of the establishment, and then take that cup outside. So if you want to enjoy like Bicentennial Park with a drink, or on the street with a drink, you can do that legally, and there's a boundary and there's signage that kind of defines what the Dora district is, but it's essentially what most folks think of as kind of the downtown area. It's all of that area, so you could take that drink and go into a business if you want. So it's really been helpful with the shutdown. So as we have shut down Mulberry, and put tables out there, people are able to kind of get outside and enjoy something to eat, something to drink out in our great downtown, and help local business in the meantime.
Wow, so many things you're doing already. What's next as far as the next progression to get back to normal? Yeah,
I mean, I think right now we still have had events that are canceled. So I think right now that getting back to normal would be, Lebanon's known for our events and our festivals, and especially in the summer. So we're hoping that some of these events that are planned kind of later in the summer are going to happen.
20,000 people?
Yeah, so it's a big deal for us. We love our events. It's important for our businesses. So I think that's really the next step in the process, is when we will see some of these events, like with the Blues Fest or some of these other events, Third Fridays. I know the Chamber of Commerce is planning on doing the July Third Friday event, which will be great. So hopefully we're going to be able to do that as we get into July, August, and kind of get back to normal with our summer events.
Wow. Well, a lot of stuff going on. One thing that continues to go on in spite of the coronavirus is the improvements in Lebanon.
Yes, correct.
And we're standing on Broadway, and behind us we see the beginning of an effort to move the utilities underground for the 511 North Broadway housing project. What is the 511 North Broadway area going to be?
Sure, okay. So this property right here, it's about 6 acres. It's owned by the city. So this used to be where our public works operation was before we built the new facility on West Main Street. So when we built our new public works facility, we tore down all of the buildings. They were frankly very in poor shape. Obviously they had reached the end of their useful life. We tore the buildings down, and the city wanted to enter into a process of trying to find a developer who would take this property and put it into active use, put it into a use that's going to generate tax revenue for the city. So we went through a pretty lengthy RFQ process. and ended up selecting a partner, CMC Properties, to develop this 6 acres of city-owned property. CMC Development, they've done similar projects in Loveland, Hamilton, Milford, so they've got some experience in kind of this region, and we're very excited about doing a project in Lebanon. So what the project will be is kind of in front along the sidewalk, there's going to be commercial buildings targeting kind of restaurants primarily. Okay. So there's going to be 2 commercial buildings that will have restaurants in them. It'll have kind of outdoor seating, patio seating, nice. Something of that nature. And, just for folks to kind of come in, get something to eat, similar, kind of try to replicate a little bit of the feel of downtown Lebanon. And then behind that, there will be townhomes and market rate apartments. Okay. For folks to live. So it's kind of trying to play into that concept of people want to live close to downtown Lebanon. They want to be able to, kind of experience the feel of downtown Lebanon. This project really originated as a recommendation from the downtown master plan that the city finished a couple years ago. So that was a very public process. We had lots of input, and one of the things that came out of that planning process was Lebanon's got a great downtown, and there's a lot of people that want to live within walking distance of downtown. Yeah. So we as a city need to look at providing some new housing opportunities for folks, and that's going to help our local economy with people spending money in town. So that plan really was the genesis of moving forward with this project. And we've got a development agreement. They were actually hoping to start construction by now on the actual site development side of it, but with the coronavirus and some of the economic uncertainties that's had on the housing market in general, they've kind of put a hold on that as they evaluate kind of what the long-term implications are. But there are several infrastructure improvement projects associated with the development, and really this whole corridor that the city already had underway, and we are moving forward with executing. So the overhead utility lines are going underground. Yeah, nice. So you're seeing conduit being put in the ground to kind of allow us to get everything underground.
Hey, Scott.
Yeah.
Who pays for all that? Because I know you're a sharp guy and getting money. Yeah. The grants and stuff. So, are you able to get any grants for that? Or is that coming from us?
The utility work is out of the electric operation, so that's an electric expense. We had development-related funds with money available for the actual infrastructure improvement. Nice. So there's not grants, but it's not general fund tax money either. So it's development-specific funds that the city had in place to promote economic development in our community. And then the private investment. So this development. It's a $15 to $18 million investment. Wow. So, obviously the private sector is making a huge commitment to building the buildings and developing the site.
Good job. Now, are the housing units, how many are there going to be available?
There's about 100 apartments, and I think on the townhome side, I want to say there's about 16 to 20 townhomes. Okay.
Are the townhomes going to be for sale?
They're going to be, no, they're for rent. So the townhomes are for rent and the apartments are for rent. It's market rate for both of those.
And do you have a specific market as far as planning this unit? Is this like an over 50? Or?
Yeah, so the developer's done several of these, and what he's found is this type of product and this type of location, it really kind of is attractive to 2 demographics. Yeah. One's the empty nesters, the folks that are looking to downsize, but kind of want to be close to a kind of an active downtown, a walkable lifestyle. And then the millennial generation. So it's kind of both ends of the spectrum seem to be attracted to these type of developments, and that's what he's seen in other communities, and we kind of expect the same here.
Okay, when's the army of bulldozers, and when are they going to require you to have a hard hat on? Is that coming?
Hopefully soon. So the developers asked for kind of a 3-month pause on the project to evaluate things. So we're still hopeful that he makes a decision to move into active construction later this summer, but the ball's definitely in his court.
Now there's something going on here. We got a 4-lane highway, and I think you're looking into what do they call it? Road diet, or
yeah. So that's the other part of kind of the public improvements that we're doing along this corridor. We did a traffic study. We looked at the traffic volumes. as to whether or not a lane restriction, going from 4 lanes to 3 lanes would be supported. And one of the reasons that we want to go from 4 lanes to 3 lanes is to accommodate on-street parking.
Yeah.
Kind of in front of the park that's being planned in front of Berry School, but also in front of the development. But then the other thing that we have gotten a grant for is a bike trail extension from downtown kind of to the north.
Okay.
And part of this bike trail would utilize a dedicated bike lane on Broadway Avenue.
Nice.
Where that 4th lane is now, that would be, kind of provide us with existing pavement width to do a dedicated bike lane that's protected. The studies and we've looked at other communities that have done this, other states that have done this, and really the information out there and the results show that going from 4 lanes to 3 lanes improves safety. On a road, with turning movements. It's much more, you've got a center turn lane and then you've got 1 lane of traffic in each direction, so you're not trying to turn, make a left-hand turn across multiple lanes of traffic. So it improves safety, it lowers speed, which is a good thing. And like I said, the traffic volumes here really are telling us you don't need 4 lanes of traffic to meet the traffic demand that you have out here right now.
I wonder if they have more accidents during our big festivals, because you get people coming in and are anxious.
Yeah, and they try to cut across and they look in 1 lane, but they don't see the car coming in the other lane. So I think that's what the studies have shown, is that it really does improve overall safety when you go from 4 lanes to 3 lanes. I know I have got asked, up at the fairgrounds, obviously they have some big events. We are maintaining kind of a 5-lane section there with a dedicated right turn in. There are still some considerations made for some of the larger events and making sure that it is no worse than what it is now. And frankly, right now there's traffic backups with all the lanes we have now. It's just for these 1 or 2 day festival type of situations.
So with the addition of the bike trail, do you know what this brings us up to as far as total miles?
Oh.
I know Casey's not here.
Yeah,
and
that's a good Casey question.
She's the person on that, but
I'm going to say we're over 10. So I know we have 8 miles of bike path right now, and I think by the time you get it from downtown all the way up to Miller Road, you're probably looking at a good 10 miles worth of bike trails in Lebanon. And then we've got another project where we got another grant to extend the bike trail from kind of the YMCA down in front of Home Depot over Bypass 48 and connect all the housing development and the residential development on the east side of Bypass 48. So we're in the process of updating our Parks Master Plan. People are telling us we like trails, we want trails.
Nice.
So we're pursuing grant opportunities to support that.
I like how you use other people's money to make our house better and better.
Yeah, we try.
Hey, you're putting a new park in front of Berry.
Correct,
let's stroll down there and take a look at that.
Sounds good.
Okay, so first things first, Scott, no trees are going to be destroyed or pulled down.
That is correct. Right? The only thing we're going to be doing, you can see we have some underbrush here behind us along the creek. We want to get rid of the honeysuckle and that underbrush so you can get a better view of Berry School as you drive down Broadway. So yeah, trees are being preserved. You can see where the park is going to be. It's just grass right now.
Nice. Any other amenities that are going to be here in this park area?
Yeah, so the plan is you can see kind of where the streetscape ends right now, the brick sidewalks, decorative lighting. So that streetscape feel is going to be extended from there all the way up Broadway Avenue, up to the new development. As we said, the overhead utility lines are going to be going underground. And then this area right here is really going to be what we're calling a plaza park. So it's going to be an extension of the streetscape. There's going to be some bench seating, some really nice landscaping. We've left open some areas where in the future, if there wanted to be a monument or something else done, we certainly could. There'll be some swings. So really the vision for this Berry Plaza Park is that it really defines, I'm in downtown Lebanon now, we have that historic streetscape feel. It's a place where people can just kind of congregate. and enjoy, being in front of, one of our historic buildings and kind of in downtown. So it's really going to look great, I think, for folks that are, driving into Lebanon or coming down Broadway, but also be a place where people can just kind of enjoy being out there.
So why do you think it's important to tie in the north section of Broadway with the downtown?
Yeah, I think, and again, a lot of this project originated out of the downtown master plan. So as we talk to the community about, what type of improvements we can do to our downtown, one of the things that came out of that is kind of trying to revitalize and extend our downtown initiative north along Broadway Avenue. So it's an opportunity to kind of expand, what people consider our downtown businesses. So with the 511 North Broadway development, there is a commercial restaurant component to that. We were very, very adamant about it not just being residential. We wanted to have some business development as well. And I think it just, downtown is a great marketing tool for Lebanon, whether you're looking for a place to live or a business. So, we want to really key in on that and expand it. And, Berry School, this has been a great partnership with the schools. Folks love the history and, the look of Berry School. So this is really just going to kind of make that whole experience nicer.
Now you mentioned the bike trail.
Right.
Where is that going to be near?
So the bike trail actually, when you're getting in this location, it's actually going to be behind Berry School. There's the Ayler Cook Trail right there off of Water Street.
Sure.
So it's going to be using a portion of the Ayler Cook Trail, which is a beautiful park that the city has, and then kind of go up and then cut over through the fairgrounds property out to North Broadway.
Okay, outstanding.
So
well, let's head up to where the new firehouse is going to be.
Great.
All right, so we're just a stone's throw south of the fairgrounds. I never knew this was here, Scott. There's actually a little house back there. We purchased this from the county, or?
Correct. So this is, technically this is fairgrounds property.
Okay.
The county owns the property, but it never has been used, in support of the fair itself. So a little bit of history. We kind of started this whole process of looking for a fire station or wanting to build a new fire station on property. We did a study. So really the first thing we wanted to look at is, from a response time, a service level standpoint, what's the best location to build a new fire station if we are able to do that?
Yeah.
I think most folks know our existing fire station on Silver Street downtown. That was a laundromat in the 1950s. The city acquired it in the 80s and kind of converted it into a fire station, but the firefighter living quarters are essentially kind of in an attic. It's not the code. There are a lot of issues with it. And it really was to the point where we needed to find a long-term solution for a fire station. So we did an assessment and really landed on this location as the preferred location to build a new fire station. And the county was great to work with. We were able to negotiate with the county and acquire the property to support the fire station. And then a huge thank you to the community for supporting and passing the fire levy that makes it financially feasible to move forward with building a new fire station pretty much right here. This is going to be the location. We're 95% done with the design of the project and getting ready to move forward.
I kind of like the idea of having a little laundromat down there with the firemen. Then they can do stuff in their downtime. I'm just joking, guys. I don't want to get these big firemen coming after me. What advances and improvements are you going to make on the new structure to bring us into the future?
Yeah. I mean, it's huge. I mean, it really is going from a building that never was set up to be a fire station, and then when we did renovate it and convert it, we were at that time a volunteer fire department. So in the 80s, when we bought that building and made it Station 41, it was built to support volunteer firefighters that didn't live there 24/7 in the fire station. We've come a long ways. We are a professional fire department now here in Lebanon. We're staffed 24/7 there. So, obviously having adequate, bunk rooms and gear storage for these guys. Right now, the bays, we have no ventilation in our vehicle bays. So you have fire engines that are running, You have diesel exhaust that goes directly into
That's
where these
dangerous.
guys eat
Yeah, that's not
and
good.
where they stay. So
Yeah.
it's like night and day. It's a project that, you know, I'm very excited about because it really, I think, is a reflection of how this community values our public safety and our fire personnel. It's going to have 4 vehicle bays.
Okay.
You're going to be able to drive through the bays. So right now, you know, our guys have to kind of back into these undersized bay doors. This is going to be your traditional drive-through 4-bay station. It's going to have like a nice training room for these guys to use and for the community to use if they need public meetings or things like that. And just, you know, have enough space to support our staffing levels and make sure we have the safety features in place for a fire station that's occupied 24/7.
I'm gonna do a flip. If I irritated any of the firefighters before about the laundromat thing, this building looks like a great place for some practice for these guys as far as demoing that. And when are you going to break ground on this project?
So right now the schedule is to bid the construction of the new fire station in June. So pretty much in a couple weeks it's going to be going out for bids. And then the intent is to award the contract and move into the construction phase in late summer. It's going to take a good year to build, so it's definitely not something that we're going to able to actually occupy until probably next summer. But you know, we're anxious to kind of get started on it now. You know, the project is on budget at this point, and essentially we'll be out to bid in a couple weeks. And again, just a great project for the community, and just another piece of the puzzle of really trying to you know, uplift this North Broadway corridor. So you have the Berry Park, you have the 511, you know, North Broadway private development, you have the new Warren County Event Center that just finished up, and then you've got our new fire station kind of all right here. So we're excited about that.
Now, is this the only area that we're going to have road work on this project? Do we have anything else going on that's going to be tearing things up?
In terms of North Broadway, no. I mean, there'll be, this will be, you know, really minimal work out in the road. So the road diet, that's one of the other benefits of the road diet that we were talking about. It's just kind of restriping the existing pavement. So we don't have to get in there and, you know, place new asphalt. It's really just restriping the lanes.
Not like Main
Street.
Very
cost effective.
That was kind of humped over when they did that.
Yeah, nothing at all like what you see there. It should happen pretty quick, and it's going to be minimal disruption to the traveling public.
Hey, let's wrap up with what's the overall goal for this whole North Broadway development?
Yeah, I mean, I think we want this to be, you know, as you're entering into Lebanon, as you're kind of coming in, we want it to really kind of feel as a gateway as I'm entering, you know, historic Lebanon, downtown Lebanon. You know, I think the investment, so you're looking at between the private and the public investment in this corridor, you know, over $20 million between what the county's doing, what the city's doing, what the private developer's doing. So I think it's just an opportunity to just really invest in this area. We'd like to see additional business investment. Broadway Barrel House, what a great example of a business that's just made that investment and just done an outstanding job. And we want to kind of continue, you know, with that type of approach on North Broadway. It's a significant commercial, you know, kind of corridor, travel corridor for the city, and you know, we're hoping in the future to kind of look at that Columbus Avenue corridor as well. And okay, what can we do? What can private development do on Columbus Avenue to really, you know, infuse
a lot of potential there.
Infuse some energy into that corridor as well. So. You know, one of the projects we're getting ready to start is a comprehensive plan update, and it's going to kind of look at a lot of these strategies that the city's undertaking, and you know, what our goals are.
Wow. Well, Scott, I know you're real busy. Thank you so much for coming out of the office and sharing with all of our viewers the wonderful things. I'm excited about that event center. Is there anything else that we left off that you'd like to share?
I think we've kind of hit all the key projects going on in this area of town, and like I said, we're just excited about it.
Good deal. Thanks, brother.
All right.
Hey, stay tuned. We'll be back. We're going to head over to the Humane Association Animal Shelter right after this break.
Break your fast food habit at Kelly's Meats and Deli at 1001 West Main Street in Lebanon. Stop in for a quick lunch featuring made-to-order sandwiches, tasty sides, and mouth-watering daily specials. For dinner, Kelly's offers fresh-cut steaks, chops, and seafood, plus a variety of prepared dishes that only need to be reheated. You'll also find a large selection of high-quality wine and beer that can make any meal a special event. Kelly's Meats and Deli open 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Tuesday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturday, now open for dinner Saturdays 6 to 9 p.m. And remember, we cater too.
Plantar fasciitis is terrible. You're reminded of your pain with every step that you take. Our approach is unique in that we use clinical massage to break up those adhesions. We'll even fit you for orthotics. If there's a joint misaligned, we may need to set that. There's no way for us to know until you come in for your free assessment. If it's only clinical massage that you need, it's very affordable, $28 for one session. You deserve to have relief. Call us at 933-9799 and schedule your free assessment.
Since 1954, Hardee's Interiors has been providing quality furnishings for homes in and around Lebanon, Ohio. Today, you'll still find quality antique and vintage furniture along with new made-in-America furniture of all styles. At Hardee's, you can create a mix of furniture and accessories that truly reflects your personality, all made to last a lifetime. Designers are welcome and so are you. Hardee's Interiors at 208.5 Wright Avenue or online at hardeesinteriors.com.
Honorary Forest Ranger Betty White here, lending a hand to my dear friend Smokey Bear. Because for 75 years, he's only said,
only you can prevent wildfires.
But there's a lot more to say. Like if you park your car on tall, dry grass, the hot exhaust pipe can start a wildfire. So keep the animals safe, especially the cute shirtless one. Go to SmokeyBear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
Welcome back to the City Show. We're in front of the Humane Association Animal Shelter. Hey, guess what? The dogs and cats didn't get the memo about the coronavirus. They're sitting at home wondering, what are the humans doing? Staying home, probably driving their animals crazy. I wonder if that's causing more of the animals to be dropped off here because the humans are driving them crazy. But bottom line, Joanne Hurley, the director of this wonderful facility, she still has, there's always challenges. Hey, before we get into the new ones, how are the poodles doing?
So we have 6 poodles left.
Out of how many?
Out of the 148.
Wow.
We get a lot of updates from people who adopted the poodles, and they're all doing so well, and they're groomed down nicely, and they've blended into the family and learned to be dogs in a home. So it's really great. The 6 that we have left are probably the most difficult out of the whole 148, but we are working with some rescues and things like that to get them placed.
Yeah, well, it sounds like you did a great job.
It was a big job.
So the last 2 months, how have you guys survived and continued to stay open and serve our community?
So it's been a little difficult and a little scary. I'm sure everybody feels that way. We are deemed essential. We are working with live animals, so we are essential. So we've been able to keep working. We did shut down our facility. We shut down additional services such as vouchers and microchipping and things like that. We went straight with adoptions. We moved all of our adoption procedures outside except for the cats.
Okay.
The cats are inside, but we have a very direct path that people have to travel. They don't get to travel into the shelter, touching things and things like that.
So you're being cautious.
We are being very
following
cautious.
the social distancing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. How about the critters? So are you social distancing? Do we have masks on?
No.
I'm just being funny.
No, the critters are doing fine, and this is actually, it's been a little bit of a blessing in disguise because it showed us. We've had time to implement some new programs. Okay. We're doing some new things here that we're really liking and enjoying. We're actually getting to spend more time with the adopters themselves, and it's more of a personalized experience. Yeah. So it's really, like I said, we've had some great things come out of this.
Have you had more people bringing their pets in?
Because
of financing and stuff like that, or
just the opposite.
Wow.
So when this whole thing started, of course, we were worried about having a shelter full of animals, and if we had to stop working for any reason, what were we going to do and all that. Yeah. And so we put out the plea for fostering. and the community responded in a big way. I mean, it was so wonderful.
Yeah.
And of course, the premise behind fostering is we always hope that you're going to be a foster fail, which means you're going to fall so in love with this animal that you don't want to bring it back.
Yeah.
And now it's going to be a part of your family.
Nice.
And that's worked out really well for
Okay,
us,
okay.
really well.
So this is kind of like a renting period. They come in, they're lonely, and they're probably falling in love.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
that's-
it's been really great. And the adoptions themselves have been sky high.
Yeah.
Funny enough, when we reach out to other shelters that aren't as fortunate in the resource area as
Yeah.
we are, and we've actually had a hard time with shelters that we normally go and get animals from. They've been the same way. People are
Wow.
adopting like crazy, and
Good.
it's been such a
Wow,
positive
that is a blessing.
spin on this.
Yeah, yeah. Now you're not open, but yet you're open. So this is by if somebody wants to adopt, they call, they make an appointment.
Absolutely. So if someone wants to adopt, if they look on our Facebook page or our Instagram page, I do live videos about every other day with the animals that we have up
Yeah.
for adoption. I showcase them, talk about what their needs are. They see those videos, then they call 513-695-2437 to make an appointment. When they get here, they call, let us know they're here. Our staff comes out in masks and gloves and talks to them in the car. Then they're led around back to an outdoor patio
Yeah.
where they meet the dog then.
It sounds like you might have even developed some new ways of doing things better that you might continue on after the
Yeah,
governor.
we're really loving the appointments because it allows us not to get overcrowded, and it allows us to spend more time with with the potential adopters.
Yeah.
You know, thereby we're able to identify needs a little bit better, and
Nice.
we're able to better place animals.
So how long do you see the restrictions that have been placed on you? Any idea, or do you have to just wait for the governor?
We're kind
to
of waiting
put
for
it
the
out there?
governor, and we're definitely going to ease into this. There's so much conflicting information
Yeah.
out there that I don't think anybody's 100% sure. So right now, while the weather's permitting and everything, it's very easy and accommodating to be able to do these outdoor adoptions.
Yeah.
And like I said, there's some great benefits that come with that.
Wow, that's awesome. It's kitten season now.
It is
right?
kitten
So are you
season.
getting an abundance of kittens dropped off at the
Absolutely.
doorstep? And how are you handling that?
So the kittens we actually started this last year. We've gone to what's called managed intake for cats and kittens. And it serves two purposes. So first of all, when you get the shelter really overcrowded with cats and kittens,
Yeah.
they get stressed, they get sick, they just don't do well. And they're harder to adopt because
Yeah.
they're in a bad mood. So by doing this managed intake, we're able to control the influx. And we've implemented a really great foster program to where when we get these kittens in, we have fosters lined up. They go out, they stay with the fosters until 8 weeks. They're well socialized,
Wow.
they grow well, they're well fed, they're weaned. They come back here, they're happy, they're adoptable, and a lot of times they go out the same day
Nice.
to adopted homes.
How many fosters do you have who help you now?
Oh,
and do you
Lord.
need more?
So we always can use more. You know, people do like to take vacations and
Yeah.
step away from it sometimes. Fostering is a really great way to get involved with the shelter, and it's a really good way to feed that need to hold little kittens, you know, and then not have to make a lifetime commitment.
Yeah.
So it's really good for kids. You know, a lot of kids want to see this. You know, they
Okay.
want to experience the babies and all
Wow.
this. So this is a great way to get involved, and it's a great way to help us out. By starting this managed intake, we were able to drop our medical costs by $5,000
You're brilliant.
last year.
Good
Isn't
job.
Isn't
Yeah.
that amazing?
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
So what do you look for? If somebody wants to be a foster parent for a kitty cat or a dog, what do you look for?
So
Because you got to screen. You can't just.
right.
You never know.
And it doesn't have to be. You don't have to be a vet. You don't have to be so skilled in cats.
Yeah.
We kind of tell you what you're going to do. We provide resources for you so that you can call. If you have a question, you can call us. We can talk about this. We typically try to ask that if you have other pets in the home, that you have at least a room that you can segregate, you know, the cats and kittens,
Yeah.
just to give them some peace and make sure that there's no cross-contamination. So it's really easy. There's not much to it. You just take them in, you keep them for 4 to 8 weeks, and we just ask for a 2-week commitment at least.
Okay.
So.
What advice do you have for people out there? Let's say they come across a stray cat or dog. Do we have a dog warden still, or do they call you?
Yeah.
What advice would you give us?
The dog wardens are still working right now. They're actually just went back to normal hours.
Okay.
They just limit their contact in the building and everything. So you can always call the dog wardens line. They are available. They are taking messages and everything like that. They're out there working. If you find, because the dogs and cats are different, the dog wardens do not handle cats.
Okay.
Only the shelter does. So if you find a stray cat or kitten, we ask that you call that intake line, which is the 513-695-2437.
Thank you.
Leave us a message. It may take us a little bit to schedule you in because, again, we cannot overcrowd.
Yeah.
But we're trucking right along. Like I said, it's not taking long at all because we're getting them out to foster or out to adoption pretty quickly.
Wow.
So definitely, if you find some, call that number, get scheduled in, and we'll get them in.
Any other things that the coronavirus has thrown upon you? Any other challenges that we haven't talked about?
I guess in the beginning it was a little odd for us. We have to be together. We're in a building. We have to be together, and it was a little difficult. We're all finding it difficult to wear the mask when we're interacting, and I think that's just not limited to us. That's everybody. But there for a while we did have to take temperatures. If someone called off sick, they were out for 2 weeks. Because we had to self-quarantine because when you have an indescript illness, of course, we don't know what it is, and we want to make sure that it's not coronavirus. So it's been a little challenging, but here at the shelter, we're used to adjusting and pivoting all the time. So
you're a spinning top, baby.
That's right.
Hey, how else can the public help?
So
meet the
right
needs?
now, we had a time there where adoptions were down a little bit. We just didn't have many animals. So revenue was a little short. Making a donation to the shelter is always one of the best ways you can help. It covers medical, it covers food, it covers veterinary care. I mean, just anything. It covers enrichment toys. So a donation, a cash donation is always fantastic. You can get involved by fostering. You can help by going onto our Facebook page or our Instagram page or our website, homelesspets.org. Get on our Amazon wish list. Buy a toy for one of the animals here. We need to keep them busy. We got to keep their minds going. So
once again, if somebody wants to adopt a pet, what do they need to do?
It's going to be call 513-695-2437. Don't forget to also watch our Facebook page and our Instagram page because that's where we do the live videos and showcase the animals that are available or coming up for adoption. So that's a great way to kind of see what we're doing.
Wow, you've done a great job.
Thank you.
Pivoting,
Thank
adapting, growing.
I think honestly,
changing.
I'm impressed with all of America for doing what they've done and being so inventive, in this time.
Well, you're one of those Americans. Thanks for what you do down here. Is there anything else that I haven't covered that you want to share with our audience?
No, we're just looking forward to seeing, everybody when it's time to come back in. We're asking everybody just to be patient with the process right now. We're going to ease into this real softly. So that's it.
I like how she did ease into that.
Ease in.
Like she's got a little kitten in her hand. It's just natural for you.
Ease in.
Hey, thanks, Joanne.
Thank you.
We'll be back right after a few messages.
Bob Pulte Chevrolet always gives you the best. Best price guaranteed. Best trade-in value. Best selection. Best financing on all new and pre-owned vehicles. See for yourself at bobpulte.com. And you'll love the Pulte price.
So there you are, shuffling through a stack of resumes and you come to mine. This is it. First impression. My way in. But can my resume show you how I truly stand out? Like that I was studying, going to night school while working 2 jobs just to help my parents pay for groceries. Or being the first one to always step up. No, that's something you just can't put on paper. Look beyond the resume and discover new ways to develop great talent that is dedicated, hardworking, and determined like me.
Today I'm going to talk to you about physics. Come on in, girls. Let's go. This is the first rocket to get humans to Mars.
Really tall.
I'm a rocket structural engineer, designing and building parts of the rocket. You are the generation that will be stepping foot on Mars. Do I have a group of astronauts on my hands?
Yes.
You can become a rocket scientist or whatever else you want to be.
Sure, I look cute now, but when my owner lost his job, it was rough. I was living on the street, and one night, me and this Cocker Spaniel got into it so bad, I wound up looking like an ice cream cone. I cried a little bit, but thankfully I got rescued, so I'm running, I'm jumping, all back to my old self, and I'm ready to give unconditional love, even if you put a lampshade on my head.
Credit challenge? No problem. Here at Bob Pulte Chevrolet, get approved on a new Chevrolet with financing as low as 9.9% plus $2,000 in rebates. Don't waste time shopping elsewhere. Apply online today at bobpulte.com. And you'll love the Pulte price.
Hey, before we go, we want to remind you that the Lebanon Council of Garden Club's annual garden tour is still on. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be June 27th and 28th, so you have plenty of room to spread out and enjoy the tour safely. Pre-sales are available for $10 at the Brick House and the Village Ice Cream Parlor. Tickets are normally $15 a day of the tour, so you can save $5. Be sure to tune into Lebanon Channel or online on YouTube and a Lebanon Channel on demand for a preview of the garden tour hosted by Mary Pat Austin.
On Monday, June 1st, residents of the Shaker Trace neighborhood took to the streets to welcome home Dave Campbell. Dave was taken to the hospital by Life Squad on March 19th due to contracting the coronavirus. Over the past 2.5 months, he spent time in Bethesda North and Good Samaritan hospitals, and then completed his rehab at Atrium Medical Center in Middletown.
So great to see you.
Dave, who turned 75 in July, is happy to be home with his wife here in Lebanon.
You people have no clue what this means to me. You really don't.
It's very nice of him. We're very happy you're with us. Yes.
Well,
yes, indeed.
The old expression is good to be seen rather than seen. Or viewed, I mean.
It's true.
Not to get too mushy, but
You mushy?
me in 74 plus years, the Lord has chosen not to take me twice.
Yep.
And this one, you know, as of late, is, you know, as I was telling Bev, I've literally come back from the brink on COVID-19, literally. But anyway, sun feels good. Fresh air is super. It's great to see every one of you. You know, I feel great. I've still got a ways to go yet. And only time and the Lord above is going to tell me whether I'm back to 100%, 99%, or whatever. But I'm looking forward to it.
Thanks for watching. Hey, we'll be back. Don't fear. Get outside. Enjoy it. We're back, baby. Take more than a pandemic to slow us down.